make sure you look good on paper and you can function. Okay, so if your cousin hook you up and you get them in position, run the school. Yes, there you go. Because a lot of these functions are regulated. Okay? Alright, so you want to look at this exam?
Yes.
Okay, let's look. Well, we can discuss it if you have any questions. What the first question is, I don't have a copy now. Are you good?
So you
On my papers.
You are a compliance assistant in April. You have asked as your assignment to review the file of one of your customers. The customer is Mr. Cole Manuela. The CDV on file is as follows. Client, Mr. Cole Manuela, nationality is Italy, residence Dubai, status married to a French ambassador.
What that mean?
Occupation, managing director of a company. His business is servicing oil machinery. Countries of business operation, Nigeria, Venezuela, and Dubai. They're sanctioned countries. Anticipated volume of business 3 million per month, 4 deposits per month. However, the company has deposited 12 million per month with 9 deposits, so they have already went over their boundaries of the amount of deposits that they should have done.
Okay, and what you could do? Call them in and ask them to declare the source of funds.
Source of funds for opening of an account that he used was inheritance from his parents, so he also should provide some sort of letter or notification to show that.
Or the probate from a bill or something like that. He is high risk, right?
Right. And then rationale for opening an account is accessibility to South Africa. South America, sorry.
South America.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brazil president just got impeached, is high risk. Guatemala's couldn't pay their debt and they owed the Chinese, so the Chinese just took over their port. You know, like where cruise ships come in. And you know, every passenger that come off is give $15, but I think it's more. And plus they have all kind of shipping fees. Could you imagine our port being acquired by the Chinese? So all that revenue that the country makes, that's what, 15 to 20% revenue right there, go with the Chinese now. That's what happened in Guatemala because they couldn't pay their debt. All over the Latin America, there's been a lot of corruption. Peru, there are like 3 or 4 MPs before the courts for corruption and bribery, all over. Okay, so that's South America. So list 5 factors used when determining the risk profile of the client.
Criminal risk, financial risk,
Jurisdiction.
reputational risk.
Yeah.
Okay, but we
Product
will
and
determine
service.
list 5 factors used. You can say he is high risk. They looking more like that. He is high risk
High risk.
because he's a PEP. Now, when y'all get, if y'all go in the ICA, and that was the question for this year, define the PEP definition. And they use that because PEP means
Politically
exposed
exposed
person.
person.
Right, and there's a different,
affiliation.
And therefore,
yeah, there's a different definition in the UK versus Mexico. Mexico, because of their high corruption index, have your cousin of your cousin of your cousin. The
Right.
UK just say very
Everybody's
close
a friend.
family member, so
Everybody.
your wife, your husband, like that. So it's a smaller list compared to, you know, but everybody is trying to get on one accord and have the same meaning. Because if you was in the UK and you was a Mexican and you went to the UK to open up an account, whose PEP definition would you use to label this person as a PEP?
Based on your
The
jurisdiction,
one that
yours.
you're in. then-
Yeah,
Wherever the
yeah,
next
the
meeting
UK one is less, now it's less extensive than Mexico one.
But they would still go back and check that one as well.
I would say I using, remember
You
now,
do it.
if 2 people on a risk rating, you take the highest risk, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, I can take the highest risk. You from Mexico, even though my law says don't label you as a PEP, I label you as a PEP because your country says label you as a PEP. You see what I mean? And your country may be the one subpoenaing you. It ain't gonna be my country. You see, your country could send a court order to me and say block this account. And this account should have been a PEP and this should have been this and that. Right? So you make educated decisions because when there are more than one person on the account, you always take the highest the higher risk. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
So question in regards to answering this question,
Mm-hmm.
should we just do it solely based from the client's perspective or from the bank's perspective? Because if I was to answer this, I would also say a financial risk because it'll be from the bank's perspective.
This question is page, you only reached this here.
Oh,
But if you were reading,
Chapter there.
no,
Chapter 7.
customer risk profile, it said determining the risk profile of a client, page 49.
Yeah. Chapter 7.
Miss Fuller, so you can't, okay, even if we read page 49, so would you use points if you say it's a risk from the bank's perspective?
No, you could list that as one of your points, you'll get
Okay.
some points for that. But with the,
specifically,
specifically that they're looking for is page 49, okay? Okay, so you could have that to get some extra points, but you need this.
Also,
Right,
okay.
right,
Alright.
right, cause each of these probably would be worth like 10 points.
So you need to put a.
So that's
Yeah, as much meat.
That's developing the customer's profile.
Right, yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yeah.
that's
That's
chapter
chapter,
7, the whole
Yeah.
chapter 7 basically. That's the entire
Yeah.
chapter 7.
yeah. And then chapter 6, the bonus part, it says what documents are missing from the customer due diligence. Right, so look at chapter 6, I think, yeah.
I see that here.
Yeah, but y'all meeting for next week, right? I won't be here next week. Mr. Taylor will be here next week, and I'll come the week after. And I'll do chapter 7. But between chapter 6 and 7 is the answer for where you find the meat of the answer for chapter 1. I mean,
Okay,
for
so Ms.
question
Fuller,
Say
1.
that again.
So you said the exam is basically made up of 8 questions, and we still would choose 5 of
Yeah.
them. We could study them thoroughly and get to know them,
Yes.
familiarize yourself, and pick
Yes.
the 5 that you want.
Yeah. But you don't know which chapters. It's 10 chapters. So
This is an
this is an
example.
example of the test from last year or the year before.
And then they choose 6 though.
No, they
No, it's always five.
Choose 5.
Because again, each of these are essay questions. So and you only have 3 hours, I
And
think.
then the multiple choice question section.
I don't think so.
They're not the multiple choice in this one?
Yeah. No, this one didn't have any. This had 8 essay questions and you had to pick 5.
So there's
Yeah.
5 questions that'll be on the exam?
No. This
Eight
is
questions.
this an old test.
Oh.
I just bring you a copy of the structure. Yeah. So in the last class, I think Miss Archer will have you all for the last class. You all could ask her if she's putting in any.
She's writing the exam or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just brought this as an example, so you could start the study. Remember, I said get your 10 points on each chapter, so you could speak knowledgeably to it, and that's how you pass.
You say get your 8 what? Points?
10 points from each
Points.
chapter.
10 points.
Yeah, but like I say, heavily there was 3 questions, so you had to pick a question last year on tax. So
So this
yeah.
the same or?
it's still current. FACA and CRS is still current. Like I say, cryptocurrency. Now you have something on risk profiling. You have something on customer due diligence. You have something on regulatory bodies. You know, regulatory bodies, customer due diligence, risk profiling, and then whatever is current. So when you read your newspaper, you'll see what's going on.
I don't read the newspaper, so I ain't studied that one.
But
the
you
balance
as
amount?
Miss Compliance Officer, what do you do? Hello?
I try watching the CNN news.
Watch CNN, put on your Facebook, tag, let your little fly come on Facebook and the news, especially if you work in the offshore, any jurisdiction that you're doing business with. If you're banking Nigeria and Afghanistan and Iran and all them places, you better know what's happening, you know? Because now, the other day, some company got a fine and it just run across the bottom of CNN. And I was like, oh Jesus, I know that name. I had to go to our system and boop, plop right up.
Yeah.
You better read these newspapers to know, like I say, Brave Davis' daughter got married, right? He might have been low risk. You know, or when you do the review, you ask one of those, was there any material change? You have to know your client. You are the first line of defense. And then compliance have to come and vet all these things. So make sure you have sufficient information. We have a lot of people coming out of compliance and saying, I don't know. It's unacceptable. You are the first line. We need a first line, and if you aren't operating as the first line, we need somebody who can operate as the first line. Right? Ten chapters. So we getting this? It's a lot. It's very
Yes.
comprehensive. I tell you, you gotta love to read it, and you gotta want to, or you should stop right here. Because I showed you the chapter, one chapter in the ICA book last week. It was this thick. Okay, so
Wow.
and again, only experience and it doesn't tell you do A, B, and C. You have to be able to think and put pieces together. Okay, and then you have somebody. So really, you shouldn't just go into a compliance department. You should have been in the bank long enough and have an overview of these 3 or 4 departments. Then you go in the compliance department and you start at the bottom because you're the gatekeeper for the entire bank. You have to make sure the entire bank is compliant. And then sit under somebody who willing to share their knowledge and train you, because that's the only way you learn. You have to be a decision maker. Because constantly every day you have to investigate and then you have to decide, should we take this risk or not? What does our policy say? We go with this or we ain't going with this. And then you have people fighting you. Like I say, imagine like Laura was on the board and Shane Gibson account now up for discussion to whether we're closed or not. You gotta fight her. And you gotta detail the risk and you gotta document it, and then you gotta come with your exit strategy that's been in place already, because other than that it's biased, because you laugh it out. Right? And that's what happens in everyday life. So you have to strike a balance between bringing in business, opening up accounts, and being compliant. Very difficult to do that. Because the salespeople, like I say, they have these ridiculous targets. A lot of the banks, the sales, I saw some sales people at Scotia. The person in Freeport won the salesperson of the year. What y'all think about that? And Freeport.
And everybody's still sleeping?
The people in the Bahamas couldn't, in Nassau couldn't make the target, but somebody in Scotia made it. That sound like sense? Okay. So when she got that award, everybody alarm went off. Right? They had audits after audits after audits. And then we when they did a check, they found out, they have these ridiculous targets to meet. And everybody is pressured. I think Royal had let 100 and some salespersons go because they weren't meeting targets. And all these people in Scotia was pressured trying to meet this ridiculous target. And Scotia apparently offers like an insurance onto every product that they sell. So if you go in the Scotia to get a line of credit, they offer you an insurance on the line of credit. And a lot of people say, oh no, I'm not going to pay an extra $30. But that salesperson was tacking on that insurance. And if you come to increase your credit card limit, they ain't going to increase it, they give you a new card because they ain't getting a point for increasing the limit, they can get a point for the new card. And then, if you could qualify for this, listen, they'll give you a mortgage if they could. If you just come for a credit card, they can give you a loan and they can give you insurance and they can give you every type of card and every gold, whether you want it or not. And before the first payment come through, they close out all these accounts. So you never even know that you have all of these different, you have 4 credit card, you take 2. You sign, but when they say sign here, you don't know what you sign, eh? Okay? And so what the bank did is, when you got the point and they verified that the account open, they gave you the point. And then they never look back to see. So that's how she was able to inflate her points, and that's how she met the sales record for the year. And so when they started to investigate, say, but we didn't make this revenue, like what happened? Then that's how they noticed that. And it was about 5 of them who was doing that. They resigned and went right to Royal, and Royal hired them. Because they was the best, they was the top salespeople. Just as their investigation was going on.
So what's the weapon?
I don't know. I don't know. I just, that's what happened though. I don't know. They might be sitting right here in this class. Y'all know what if they still there. They right here because where the hackers and the people who hacking into the system and doing all the scams and whatever. When we first started teaching that, one of the gentlemen, we say, oh, introduce yourself, where you work and whatever, what are you interested in? He say hacking, okay. But he say on the legit side, like for the police. I say, okay. So, and that was with the industry, went out to the Attorney General and complain about, they say, listen, these laws come out and y'all don't have an industry briefing. You'll just post them up on the internet before we even know, and we have an explanation of what this law says. The hacker done lock up in his room all day. He done print that law out. He done know how to defraud the system. He done have his controls in place. He done have his strategy of how he can defraud the system based on human error. And then we just getting this today and said, oh Jesus, when I got time to read this, right? And that's how it's happened. Then he could come to the class, he could learn all the little tips and go back and defraud the bank. Right? That's what happens.
We've got a fancy in there, Malaro. I mean,
In your own country.
You might be a politician, you might want to learn.
Perhaps you're an ambassador from the one country to the
But
next.
you wouldn't be able to work in a bank.
There is
you have to
something.
qualify
No,
documents.
there is something in the against compliance is responsible for disclosure of directorships. So you have to fill out this form, and they have to say if it's going to be a conflict of interest. Because Frank Smith used to work at Commonwealth Bank.
Okay.
I don't know if he was as affluent as he is now before, but you have to expose all of that. And yeah, they ran for the DNA in the last election and they work at a bank, but they had to disclose,
that.
yeah.
So we
And
don't
then-
deny service to PEPs, we just have to be aware that you are a rep. And
No,
if you as
it has to be
risk-
within your risk appetite. Because
Okay.
some banks will say, I don't want, there's so much corruption, there's so much negative media. And again, what they can say CIBC did this and that, and you could possibly get a fine if they do some money laundering, and you put all the controls, because remember now, you can mitigate risk, you can't eliminate it. You could have all these things documented and they can still defraud the system, right? They can still do the corrupt practices, and you could be affiliated. That's why they say they don't want the PEPs because of the reputational risk.
Right.
When your name start being
Okay.
slandered all over the news, they can say, oh, he paid these payments through CIBC. Negative media for no reason. You do everything you were supposed to do. You see what I mean? But if you don't do everything what you're supposed to do, and if you don't have that documented, you cooperated with him and the bank getting a fine. And so the banks some banks say, we ain't even taking on that risk. Just like with the number boys, the Canadian banks say, we ain't taking on that risk. The money service business, we ain't taking on that risk. We don't care how much money we can make from them. If something happens, the risk is greater. You know, so we don't want it.
We're seeing politicians and banking too.
Yeah. In a couple of years. When they open up their own bank, then they have a problem. That's when they can take the money. But there's a lot of unbanked, like all of Facebook and Billify and PayPal and all those people around the world don't take their money, they are unbanked. And so in central banks, they sent out a statement last week because people started offering cryptocurrency and they say, we haven't approved any, so if you go and invest in cryptocurrency, invest at your own risk. Don't come to the police or the FIU and make a complaint. It's fraud, because there's a lot of fraud surrounding cryptocurrency, but they are going to put in the infrastructure, but they don't want you to go and invest until they get that infrastructure in, and then they can help you if you make a report. Right now, they can't help you. So the same thing with with the cryptocurrency, then they made another statement and they said that we want to help the unbanked in the world. So they trying to figure out how, but everything is moving to online. Facebook is billions. PayPal is $1 billion company, and because they're unregulated, nobody takes their money, right? And so therefore, you know, central banks say they go collaborate. What they doing now is, from our country risk assessment, the OECD and IMF, they came back and say we have to put certain regulations in place. Hence, not the doctors, but the real estates, the lawyers and accountants now have to report to the Compliance Commission. You have to register with the Compliance Commission. You have to hire MLRO, and you have to, or you won't get your business license next year. And so now they've formed this group, and they call it the GFSR group, where Securities Commission, Central Bank, Insurance Commission, Gaming Board, all of them are one body now that they are gonna share information. So like the Securities Commission coming in to audit us in November, Central Bank don't have to come because they're gonna send our audit to the Central Bank or anybody else who regulate us and say, hey, this is deficiency I find, you better go in there and check them, or I find nothing, they cool, you know, leave them alone for a while. And they are gonna put in, because a framework that's not in place right now in the Bahamas is a sanctions framework. And so we are required to have a sanctions framework, and so the country is gonna put in one, and then like in the Canadian banks, a lot of stuff trickles down from the parents, so they have sanction policies, but I don't know in the smaller banks if they have one. So they put in a whole sanctions framework that you will see now being updated. They mention it, but it's not enhanced enough, and so that was one of the issues that they had, that it wasn't enhanced. So the group is gonna get together, put in a framework, and then they'll trickle that down, and you have to implement it into your institutions. Okay? So, clear as mud. We on the right track. We digesting all of this. We making a conscious and knowledgeable decision as if we wanna go further to ICA. We can handle this, and if this, you gotta want this.
You said once we could get to this, we could be ready for ICA?
Yeah, your next step is ICA. But, like I say, if you can't handle this, if this is too much for you right now, don't go on. Unless you're money driven, you say, listen, this about the Benjamins, I can do it, this for you know what I mean? It depends on you. You know? Pretty much, okay, then commit to it. Yeah, so then that's going the other way. But be prepared to work. Be prepared to work, because I don't want to see none of you on. No cigarettes and no seatbelts, none. You know better, and you know, one us could be the first, you know that, so we gotta be very vigilant. Yeah, we could be the first. Okay? Alright, so y'all have a good holiday, and I'll see y'all the week after. Yeah, because it's a holiday on the Monday. Yeah, y'all have class Saturday, yeah. Stay a little bit here. Right?
I got to remember.
I said this a risk.
Guess what?
This no, you didn't see a risk rate.
Exactly.
So let's get to see you, man. All right, you do. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is you see the Basel Index here, right? And they tell you what their methodology is, and they tell you these are the following 5 categories, and each one have its own rating, and then within there it's a total of 14 different things that they use to restrict the country, right?
Let's pull it out of the rate.
Okay. So when you risk rate on the back end of this, all the country risk ratings are in there. So when you put in the person's nationality, the nationality is Italy. So when you put Italy in there, you'll get a rating. Okay, this top piece for the company. Start here. Italy, you'll get a rating. Residence, Dubai, you'll get a